What's going down, everybody? So today, as you can see, I'm bringing you two of the biggest arch rivals, that is Beast Megatron and my man Optimus Primal. These two guys here are basically the descendants of regular Megatron and Optimus Prime. Now, as you can see, I got them here in their beast modes, and I'm really liking the way they made this Megatron. Now, the Megatron itself, there are some gaps here. There's like a gap here, there's some gaps here, gaps there, and this looks a little weird here. But it's still cool, because what they did, they used like a rubber PVC to try to kind of go over the plastic on the body. Because if you look at his head, he kind of looks like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. If the T-Rex from Jurassic Park and Barney had a baby. Pretty much that's what he looks like. So the sculpt is pretty cool. Like his mouth can open all the way up, and then it has like the little blaster thing in here where you can add a one of the blast effects. But usually I guess you would have it like kind of like that, because you don't want to open it too wide and then it don't look like a T-Rex. But it can move back and forth. The legs, let me get Optimus out of the way. The legs here have the hinge here. They go about that far back. The ankle has movement, and the ankle has movement from side to side. The thigh also moves like this. So like if he's running or something like that, which is pretty cool. He can stand up a little bit more straight like that. And of course he got the little ass T-Rex arms. Them shits always look funny. And I like the red eyes. That looks cool as hell. And his head can go all the way back like this. Then it can go forward like that. And you can have him stand like this. The tail, you gotta make sure that stays closed. The tail moves kind of from side to side like this. Now, his transformation is a bit rough. It is definitely a bit rough. He's a little hard to transform. We're gonna get into that in a minute. But as you can see on the back here, he has the green all the way up to here, and then on the bottom of the stomach, it is like an orange color, and then the white bone color on the bottom of his feet. So that is the new Beast Megatron for the Transformers Kingdom Netflix show that's gonna be coming out. So now, let's move on to my boy, Optimus Primal. So Optimus Primal is in his ape mode. He comes with these two blades here. He has the two blades that he can hold in his hand. And he has these two blasters. These don't come off. I wish they did. If they came off, it'd probably be a little cooler. Then he'd look a little more like an ape. But they don't come off. So his robot mode, you can kind of see it back here. All in these slots here if it's on the side, and same from this side, but from the front you can't really see it. Now he also has these blasters that are in his arm. So right here, this comes up by pushing this like that, and then he has the blaster that comes up on both hands actually. So it works the same way on this one. You push it in, it goes up. Then you can turn his fist and he can blast and stuff. His palm opens and shuts. As you see the little part in here, so that's where you would have him hold the blades. But you can close it and make it look like that's what's really holding it. But usually I keep this part closed so he's in gorilla mode. So as the ape mode, he can actually stand up. He can stand upright. You would just have to click this out and then click it. So you're clicking this off, and then you're going forward with the leg like that. So then you do the same thing with the other side. Click that off and then go forward with the leg like that. And then you will take Optimus Primal, put his arms down like this. He still kind of looks weird. Put his head down like that. And now you got Optimus Primal standing up in ape form. Boom. That's Optimus Primal, and that is Beast Megatron in their beast modes and kind of his stand-up mode. So now we're going to get over to the transformation. So the first one I'm going to transform is Optimus Primal because he's a little bit easier to transform. So first thing we do is we pop these up, the shoulder joints. Those will pop into place just like so. Then this chest cavity, we're going to pull his head back like this, and we're going to pull this apart. So then this comes, I usually pull his arms up, and then I separate that piece. So when you separate that piece from here, you notice right in here has the little slot where it clicks in. You're going to take his head, you're going to pull this out. See, it hinges in and out. Then you're going to take this part and turn it like that. Put this down, and you're going to swivel Primal out, and then you'll have the one that looks like Optimus Prime. And then you'll take the chest plate, you're going to flip it over just like so. You're going to close this back and make sure it snaps back in place. So now he looks like Optimus Primal. Optimus Prime, kinda. So at that point, you'll take this back piece, you're going to turn it, you're going to put it up, and it has the little latch there and a little piece right there. And you're going to snap that in. Boom. Now that's snapped in. For his legs, you're going to take out his robot mode legs, so you'll pull these down, just like so. And you'll stretch his legs out. So you'll stretch the legs out. It's a little stiff, but you'll stretch him out. So now he's backwards. So you're going to take the top of his body, turn that around, and boom. Now you have robot mode Optimus Primal. And like I said before, you can take his swords and put them inside of his hand like that. Close that, boom. And then this side, you're going to put this inside here and close it just like that. And now you have yourself Optimus Primal. Boom. There we go. He's not too hard to transform. I don't even know how many steps that was, but he's pretty simple to transform. But he looks cool transformed. He has the swords here, got his chest plate. He don't got the matrix of leadership, but you know, his feet in the back, those still are back there. Looks kind of strange because when he's walking and stuff, you have the regular feet in the back and then the robot feet in the front. But he's a pretty cool figure. He's not that tall, which they're supposed to be to scale as they would be in the show. So he's about that big, and yeah, he's a pretty cool figure. It's pretty cool. That's Optimus Primal. He can look down, he can look forward, back. Pretty all right. Okay, so now let's get into transforming Megatron. Okay, so now we are on to transform Megatron. Now Megatron is a little bit harder to transform. He's actually not that hard to transform. It's just there's a lot of things on him. So first thing we do is we're going to lift out. First thing we're going to do is we're going to lift this out. As you can see, his whole bottom piece separates. So once that separates, then you have to do this part here. We're going to move the leg out. We're going to move the leg out on both sides, which is the hip. Just like this. You don't want to get that caught up in there. We're going to move the hips out. So now we got the hips out. The back part is just flappy. That looks a little crazy. So we'll take, he has these two hip side cannons that those are going to turn upward. You're going to pull it out and then turn it up and snap it back in. Pull the other side out, turn it up, snap it back in. Now at this point, you have the bottom half here, which is kind of just out like that, we're going to open up the chest plate just like so. Once you do that, these things right here are going to spring in. They're on a spring. So they spring in for the head to be able to move correctly. You're going to take his head and you're going to turn this part like this. Because remember, his head is actually his hand. Then we're going to flip this in and we're going to flip this in. So both of those are in. Then this part, you can take the little ass arms, put those like that. You're going to take this back piece and you're going to flip this upward like this. When you flip this upward, this piece here is going to attach to that piece in there. So you're going to flip that up, bow, and that's in there like that. So now he's almost done. His head is here. So we take his head, we turn it up, and we turn his head around. Boom, Megatron. So now we have to move him upward. So this is where it gets a little complicated, because this part of his leg has to come out of this latch and turn forward. So you basically have to, let's see if I can get you to see that there. We have to move this out of there and move this part out of here. And then this piece needs to attach itself together like that. So this bottom part needs to attach and the leg needs to go up into here. So that little piece, it needs to turn and go up in there like that. And this one needs to turn and go up in there. So now we attach that, and then you have to push this together, which for a little kid, this would not be easy to do. Because right now I'm a grown-ass man and it's not that easy for me to do. So we gotta put this together like this and then shove those together up in there. Boom. So now that snaps in. And you gotta put some force on it when you snap it in because it doesn't go in easy. Giggity. Now we're gonna take this part and we're gonna move him forward like this. So he's basically has to come forward with his back piece and he has to attach in here. Tell you it was a little rough. There. Whew. Okay, so now he's in there. So now we have almost done. Not done yet, just about. We got the one arm on this. Actually, no, this stays up this way. His head turns. We got the one arm and the shoulder on this side. That's good, right? We got all, whoops, don't want to do that. We got all of this stuff in the back. Put those downward like that. Make sure the other little hands are there. Close this in like that. Here he is. Okay, now, you got all of this, right? The tail. Tail needs to be turned like this. You got to take this piece, turn this around, and you take this and go like that. Once that goes there, then you have to lift up this so that this goes here, both sides. But like I said, it has that PVC rubber, so that rubber is attached to the hard plastic. So you don't want that rubber to rip off, so you got to kind of push this in so that then you can do that. So now you have both of these on both sides like that. He has a hand in here, which this can go up. I don't know why he has a hand, because you can't, for some reason on this one, you can't take off the tail. It stays on there. The Masterpiece one, I think you could, but this one you can't. So then you can stand him upright. If you can see that, let me move him over here. You can stand him upright. Now you have yourself Beast Wars Megatron. Well, Kingdom Megatron, because that's the new show that's going to be out. And of course, he still has the head for an arm. Boom, he can roar, he can do all of that stuff. He can do that. You can move the arm this way, you can have him do that. Or you can even pose him kind of like this, and then have him do some weird poses where he's kind of like hero pose. Have him like that. Have him looking down, go like this, and have this, and then have Optimus come at him and stuff like that. So the figure's pretty cool. Like I said, it's a little rough on the transformation. It's not. If you have some kids that you go into a store and you see Megatron, they're like, "Oh, I want the dinosaur, Daddy. I want the dinosaur, Mommy." If they're too young, they will be able to transform him, but it's gonna take some muscle to do it, and he's a little delicate. Optimus Primal is a lot easier to transform and more kid-friendly. But this one here, yeah, the Megatron is a little harder and a little more delicate. But that's Optimus Primal and Megatron, both from the new Kingdom show that's going to be coming out, and also from the old school Beast Wars. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please give me a thumbs up. It helps out the channel. And if you can subscribe and hit that bell, it'll be much appreciated. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.